Hey everybody, it is 10 o'clock on Saturday, and if y'all been paying attention this whole time, y'all know that means that we did not make the cut. I'm at the house, should be fishing right now, but this is going to be the day 2 recap. I did a day 1 recap after day 1, but we were driving home yesterday, and I was driving all the way from Louisiana, didn't ever stop, just kept on going. So I didn't get to film a recap video yesterday, so I'm a day late. Today, this is going to be the day 2 recap video coming out now. I told y'all on Instagram yesterday I was going to be putting it up today. So I'm going to try to keep it short, but give y'all a summary of how our day went yesterday, what was going through our heads, and what it was like fishing the Elite Redfish Series All-Star Open in Grand Isle, Louisiana on day 2. I would like to start off by saying yesterday was an amazing day of fishing. We went in yesterday knowing that we were going to have to absolutely swing for the fences to try and make the cut, and I had a feeling we weren't going to be able to do it because we were at a huge, we were back too far from day 1. That 2-pound fish really killed us, and that's gonna bother me for a long time, probably until we have another really good tournament and win some good money. And it may never not bother me. Part of it was a little bit out of our control because the fish, and they did it on day 2 as well, at 12:30 something happens. I don't know if the sun gets over here and it's on this side of the sky. At 12:30 something happens, and they really get spooky. They start to shut down feeding. We kind of figured out a way to combat that on day 2 and work around it and still catch fish, but most of our fish were caught on day 2 by 12:30. After 12:30, it was kind of weird. You'd see a fish off in the distance. You'd even spot them before you're in casting range, which, for those 13 Fishing Concept Z bait casting reels, is a long way. So we'd spot them off in the distance, sneak up on them nice and slow, turn the trolling motor off, just drift with the wind, make a cast as long as I could, pass the fish, bring it to them, perfect presentation. And they would either do one of two things. They would either see it and just gone, which is very uncharacteristic of redfish in Louisiana, especially the fact that the same area, not the same fish, but the same area, 2 hours before, you get the little rock in front of them and they would eat it. So something happens there. I don't know, and the tide jigs start getting low. I know fish sometimes when the tide gets really low, they feel a little uncomfortable, but there was still plenty of water for them to be in and plenty of places for them to go. So I don't know if that was it, or when you would throw out in front of them, they would see it and they would just kind of nose over to it real and slow and sniff it and pick it up and eat it. So it was very strange, and they were very, very slow, like unenthusiastic bites by these fish. So, and you can see it all happen. I mean, we're up on a tower in clear water. You can see everything unfolding, and it's hard to see a really good tournament redfish, throw out in front of them, see them come up to it, look at it, turn around and not eat it. Like, that sucks. So starting off yesterday, we knew that we were gonna have to make a huge push. We were gonna have to really do something special to make a cut. We had 3 goals yesterday, and we were going to try and knock off each one. And let me start by saying our goal yesterday was to weigh in 42 pounds. We thought that we could, with 42 pounds, certainly achieve 2 of these goals, and depending on how the rest of the field did, achieve the 3rd goal. So 42 pounds is a lot of weight for 5 redfish. So our first goal was to be in the top 15. That means the top 15 got to go straight. The top 15 qualified for the championship. You don't have to fish any more tournaments. You don't have to qualify for the championship. You are in. If you make the top 15, you're in for the championship. We could not fish another elite, and we're in. 2, we wanted to make the top 10. The top 10 get points, depending on where you finish, for the Redfish World Series next year. But we wanted to be in the top 10 to get points for the Redfish World Series. The higher up, the more points we got. And our 3rd and final goal was to make it to the top 6 and make the cut. And I knew that was going to be hard because the day 1 weights for the top 6 were already really good. And those guys already have that much of a lead against you. So it was going to be a really tough push. But anyway, we got our spot first thing in the morning. We were really hoping we had more water. That was our goal, was to have more water and fish more areas. Once the water got low, the grass got matted, and it was really hard to catch the fish in the grass, and that's all we knew how to do from pre-fishing. That's the only place we saw fish because they were in the grass because the water was hot. Well, we pulled up to our spot, and the water is low, like really low, and it shouldn't have been. The tide had it being higher, and there wasn't a really strong wind that would push the water out. I mean, there wasn't wind pushing the water in from that direction, but it should have been, the wind really shouldn't have been a factor in it. But the tide, for some reason, really wasn't coming in like I thought it would. And we get to our spot, and there is very, very, very little water. So we're just like, look, this is what we got. This is the only fish we're on that's in this side of the world. We'd have to make a massive run to go to other fish. And there's, we'd have no time to fish at that point, especially to catch 5 fish. So we're like, we're gonna make do. So we go and we start the same track we went the previous day, and as soon as we get into our little pocket, our little pond we're fishing, we come on in nice and slow, and I just see a beautiful redfish just sitting there floating at the door, like just waiting at the gate for me. And I'm thinking, first off, holy crap. Secondly, I'm thinking, if this is how today's going to be, this is going to be a day for the books. Thirdly, I'm thinking, why couldn't this have happened yesterday? We needed this fish so bad yesterday. We went all over this whole area trying to catch a fish yesterday, and we just couldn't. And we come in today, first thing out of the gate, there's one just floating there showing himself to the world. So I throw at him, hook him, get him in the boat. It's a 7.5 pound fish. Right at 27 inches, and I'm thinking, it's so easy. And we couldn't do this yesterday. We couldn't get a 5 pounder yesterday to replace that 2 pounder. That's all we needed. So we keep on going down. Dad's throwing out a spoon, just kind of blind casting, hoping to get lucky, and he catches like a little 3 pound fish. I'm thinking, heck, I would have even taken him yesterday. 3 pounds better than 2 pounds. But anyway, I put a cold clip on him, throw him in the live well. I know he doesn't need to stay. If he stays, we're out of it. So keep on fishing down, and we see a couple more fish, but they're not really behaving. And we go to all the areas the fish were at yesterday, and we're not seeing a single fish, except for the first one we saw as we first came in. We caught a fish there the day 1. We saw that fish there day 2, or another fish there. And we go down to the areas that all our fish had been at previously, and there is not a single thing. And we're thinking, for such a fast, quick start, like we thought it was going to be on fire the moment we come in the door. It went downhill really fast. We're like, man, there's no fish. Where are these fish going? We go on, keep going down, looking for fish, and we start working down a little bank, a little shoreline, and I see 2 reds cruising away from us, good ones, big fish, just at the end of a cast. I mean, they could have been another couple feet closer, we would have been in good shape, but they were. If I would have made the longest cast possible, I probably would have hit them right in the top of the head. They're swimming away from us, kind of going slow. And we finally get a little bit closer, and I make a long cast in front of them. And they kind of act like they're not interested, but they're not, like, totally spooked. But they're just acting like they're indifferent about this bait, which is kind of disheartening, because I'm like, man, finally see 2 good fish after looking for like an hour and seeing nothing, and they're not eating. So I throw again. One of the fish spooks off, goes down the bank, gone. The other fish might have throws a spoon at it. He turns, looks at it, doesn't go after it, but he turns and looks at it. And that made him sit still for long enough where I could throw my shrimp out in front of him, bounce it in front of him, and get him to bite. Get him in the boat, and I think that fish was right at 27, really close. He'd been really close, but we had no choice. We had to keep him. And he was over 8 pounds. He was like 8, almost 8.5. He was over 8.25. So that was a pleasant sight to see. So now we have a 3 pounder, a 7.5, and an 8, and I would just say a quarter. So we always try and aim for the lower, so when we weigh in, we were a little bit surprised. So we had an 8.25, a 7.5, and a 3 in the live well now. And we're thinking, oh, well, he was going down this bank. Let's go down this bank and see if we can, get on a pattern here. Maybe they're all on this side. Maybe they've forgot the grass. They're not floating out there anymore. I see this fish. I throw at him, get him hooked, get him in the boat, get him in the net, and he's 28-ish, basically, so it would have been our kicker fish. He's 28, and he's like 9 pounds. So I'm like, okay, that's not the kicker we're going to need. We're going to need a hoss of a kicker, but at least that's the start. So get him in the live well. We got a kicker now. So we have a 9, an 8.25, a 7.5, and a 3. So we have 4 fish. We're 1 away from the limit, but that 3-pounder is, he's in the well, but we're gonna need to get rid of him for sure. So we go down, and there's this little, not really a creek, but there's the main pond, and there's little fingers that go off, we call them creeks, but they're not physical flowing creeks, but little cuts that go back into like real shallow broken marsh back there. When I see a redfish, down on the bottom, about 10-15 feet in front of us, just sitting there. I throw out in front of him, he doesn't eat. Dad throws out in front of him, he doesn't eat. Finally, he just decides to swim off. We're like, dang, what the heck? Well, I look over, and there's an even better fish just sitting up on the bank that would have definitely ate, but now we've drifted too close to him. He spooks off, and I'm like, crap. We're sitting here fooling with this one that won't eat. That one would have definitely ate for sure, just by the way he was acting up on the bank. They've been eating like that. When they're up shallow tailing and stuff like that, they're actively feeding. So, and I'm like, crap, we needed that one that just swam off. Then I look over, and here's 2 more coming down the bank on this side. I throw over there, and we ran up on them because we're paying attention to this one, then that one, and those 2. And those don't eat. I'm like, we have to stop. So we power pole down, stop. And I look, and coming out of this little creek, little cut thing from the broken marsh behind it is just a highway of redfish. They're just coming one after the other. We probably could have just sat there all day, caught a limit, and cold. But of course, you want to cover new water and look for different fish. But we're sitting there, and they're coming out one after another. And a lot of the fish coming out, they were pretty spooked. They weren't really interested. They were focused on coming out and getting to the main lake. They weren't wanting to stay in there and feed. They were using that as transportation to get to the main water. But we did get one to eat, and it was a 6-pounder. So now we have a limit. And to have a chance to make the cut, we needed to get rid of the 3, and we really need to get rid of the 6. And we need to upgrade our kicker. Another fish comes out. One of us catch this fish. I think I did, but it could have been him. And we get him in the boat. No, my dad caught it because I netted the fish. Got him in the boat, got down, and I can tell this fish is over, but he is fat as can be, so I'm thinking this is going to be our new kicker. Put him on the board. He's like 28.5 inches, 29 inches, and he's like right at 10 pounds. So I'm thinking, okay, we just culled a pound. We still need to get rid of this 3-pounder and the 6-pounder in the live well, but we need to, at least we've just gained a pound in our kicker fish. So I throw back the 9-pounder. He swims off just fine. Get the 10-pounder in the live well. So we just picked up a whole nother pound. Keep on moving down. They're really keen in on the Z-Man Easy Shrimps, just on a weedless jig head, and I'm going to get into that in a minute as well. We're going to go check that one little creek where all the fish are pouring out of again. We run up on 2 fish. They kind of were down in the dirtier water. We didn't see them, but we see them push off. And most of the time when fish are swimming so fast, because they're scared for their lives, they're not worried about eating, they're just worried about getting away. So a lot of times when they're moving really fast, I don't throw at them. If they're kind of cruising away slow, I'll throw out in front of them and maybe get lucky. Well, I'm on the right side of the tower, Dad's on my left, and he does this crazy little backhand toss thing over in the direction of the fish. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Forget that fish. Let's focus on maybe there's another one up here. We need to be ready to cast. His shrimp lands perfectly. The fish is coming right here, lands right here, and he just times it perfect to where this fish has 2 options. Either get directly hit in the face as he's swimming away at full speed by this shrimp, or open his mouth and eat it. I would have put money it was going to hit him on the face. And all of a sudden I see Dad boat up, and I'm thinking, I didn't see that fish even open his mouth. I'm thinking he foul hooked it, which you can't weigh in a foul hooked fish, so I'm thinking that's cool and all, but that's not going to do us any good. Get him in the boat, sure enough, he's got it in his mouth. And I was even thinking in the car at home, maybe he was swimming and it just fell into his mouth. He didn't even mean to eat it because he seemed so worried about getting away. But I realized that you've never seen a fish swim away with their mouth open. Their mouth is closed when they're swimming, so that couldn't have been it. But I guess he just reacted to it, had nothing else but instinct, and just reacted to it and ate it. So get him in the boat, and this is now a 7 3/4. So we just got rid of a 7 1/4 for a 7 3/4. So now we have a 10, roughly, give or take. This is on a bow grip scale, so not a digital scale. So we're just kind of getting a rough number. We have a 10, an 8 1/4, an 8, a 7 3/4, and a 7 1/2. And we're like, look, that's a heck of a bag. We did the math on the phone, and all our calculations were low. So if like a fish was between 7 1/4 and 7 1/2, we said 7 1/4 because we wanted to be surprised rather than, let down when we go weigh in. So we're thinking we could have about 41 pounds, but we'd be thrilled just to weigh in anything over 40. Go in and weigh in, and the scale says 42.04. And that was pretty cool. It was ended up being, I think, well, they're still fishing right now, but it ended up at the time was the 4th biggest bag of the tournament at the time. I'm sure someone would probably catch a big bag today, the last 6. But so we weigh in. We're pretty happy with ourselves, but I'm still kicking myself because we released so many 6 and 7 pounders yesterday that if I would have had one of those on day 1 and I lost a fish that was probably 6 or 7 pounds, we'd be fishing right now without a doubt. Because we would have had almost 40 pounds on day 1, and then that would have been 42 pounds on day 2. That's an 82 pound average. We would have been in the top 3, I think. But regardless, there's nothing we can do about it. But at least we did 2 out of our 3 goals. We're in the top 15. We made the championship already. We're in the top 10. We finished 8th. And we were 2 places out of making the cut. Still hurts because of that 2 pounder. I would have not been upset if that was the best fish we had all day. Like day 1, we caught 35 pounds, and that's all we caught. We're 7 pounders. That's all we couldn't get a bigger fish. I'll be happy with that. But we didn't. We were on track for a huge bag. We just got stuck with this little 2-pound fish that was about this big. The rest of our fish are just studs. We get stuck with this little 2-pound fish that's genuinely about this big. And so that was kind of stinging a little bit, but we were 2 spots away from making the cut. So we made a huge push from 20th to 8th. Ended up in the top 10. That's another top 10. It was an awesome experience. The Elite runs an amazing tournament. Just the way everything's run smoothly, the quality of everything is awesome. And our next tournament is going to be here in Panama City, right here. I can sleep in, don't have to travel, I can sleep in my own bed. So, but I honestly don't really fish good tournament-wise in my home water. Guiding, fishing out for fun, I can go catch good bags of fish. And some reason tournament time comes around and I just can't do it. So maybe it's time to do it. Let's keep this streak going. But we got the next tournament is here in Panama City, and the next week after that, we're going back to Louisiana to fish with the Elite in a smaller open in Slidell. So guys, thanks for sticking with me this week. We're gonna have some more videos coming soon. We got a bass tournament Tuesday. I'll probably do a little filming on that. But most of it is in the afternoon at night, so I won't be able to record at nighttime. Obviously, it's not a night vision camera. But I'm going to get some tackle prep for the bass tournament coming up. I'm going to get some videos of that. We got a big tournament coming up. I'm going out of town for Kaylin's birthday. My fiance, we're going to Disney World for her birthday, her favorite place. So I won't be doing any filming there, really, I don't think. But when we get back, we got, like I said, the Power Pole Pro Redfish Series. We are going to be doing a lot of pre-fishing, and you'll get to be along for the ride on all that. But again, thanks for sticking with us from tackle prep, leaving to pre-fishing, recaps of the tournament. Like I said, really wanted to be fishing today, really wanted to be in the money, but an 8th place against some of the best of the best is, we wanted better, but we can live with that. So thank y'all for watching. Remember, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and remember guys, subscribe. It's awesome seeing this page grow, and it's still, we only got like 35 subscribers, but it's just awesome seeing everybody join and watch these videos, give them thumbs up. So thank y'all for watching, stay tuned for the next video, and bye.